We are reconvening the Independent Nomination Board on December 4th at 4:08 p.m. Can we please get a roll call?
Yes, Chair. Member Diego,
Present.
Member Gormley,
Oh, we can't hear
You're
you.
muted.
Present in my office alone.
There you go.
mahalo. Member Kealoha, not here yet. Member Lahano,
Present.
Member Kilia Purdy Avelino, excused. Member Shimizu,
Present, alone in my home on Lanai.
mahalo. Chair Stone,
Present.
Vice Chair Sullivan,
Present.
Member Viella.
Present.
Thank you. Chair, you have quorum for today's meeting. You, along with 3 other members, are in the Department of Planning and Conference Room. I am Corey Vicens, your staff secretary, and with us also is Deputy Murakami, Corporation Counsel.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open it up for public testimony on any of the agenda items from a previous meeting. There's anyone, there's no one in the room currently, but if there's anyone online that would like to provide public testimony, please digitally raise your hand.
Nobody has indicated that they would like to testify, Chair.
Okay, and there's no written testimony. All right, this time I'll close public testimony. And we will pick up where we left off, which was agenda item 4A, review and consideration of applications received through November 26th for boards, commissions, and committees related to the 2025 mass nominations as listed on the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session with reference to the agenda items above. Board may convene on executive session pursuant to HRS 92-5A2, 92-54, or 92-5A8 to consider the hire, evaluation, dismissal, or discipline of an officer or employee, or of changes brought against an officer or employee, where consideration of matters affecting privacy will be involved to consult with the Independent Nomination Board's attorney on questions and issues related to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities, and or to deliberate or make a decision upon a matter that requires the consideration of information that must be kept confidential pursuant to state law.
May I get a second for that motion?
Second.
All right, member Viella beat you there. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous.
Chair, I'm just going to pause this.
All right, we are reconvening the Independent Nomination Board in regular session at 6:21 p.m. During executive session, we reviewed applicants for the Board of Variances and Appeals and decided to interview one and voted to send one on for further review. We reviewed the Housing Advisory Board and we got information about an additional candidate and we voted to interview that candidate in the next meeting. Let's see, Maui Planning Commission. We reviewed applicants for the Maui Planning Commission, and we identified 4 that we would like to interview. We discussed the Police Commission and decided on 1 to interview. We reviewed Real Property and Tax Review Board applicants and decided to send 1 up for further review. We reviewed applicants for the Salary Commission and voted to send 2 up for further review. We reviewed applicants for the Urban Design Review Board and voted to interview 2 applicants. We reviewed applicants for the Committee on the Status of Women, and we voted to send 1 along for further review. We reviewed applicants for the Arborist Committee and voted to send 1 on for further review. We reviewed applicants for the Elections Accessibility Committee. And we voted to send 4 on for further review. And we also reviewed applicants for East Maui Regional Community Board, but there were no applicants that fit the criteria. All right. Moving on to the next order of business. Item number 5, summary update of the November 14th, 2024 Cost of Government Commission meeting related to the IMB and regarding efficiencies and recommendations for cost saving for county boards, committees, and commissions. Right.
First,
What was that, sir?
if you can ask for public testimony.
Oh, if there's any public testimony regarding item number 5, please raise your hand.
Oh,
Let the record show there's no one in the conference room. And we did not receive any written testimony. It does not look like anyone is,
There is none, Chair.
okay. It doesn't look like anyone wants to provide public testimony, so we will close public testimony for item number 5 at this time. Who's taking the lead on this one? Just can't remember what we talked about. I can give a brief synopsis. All right,
sorry, I had to leave in the middle, so I think
That's okay.
The best.
The Cost of Government Commission interviewed us. They were interested to know a few different things that were we completing our job in a timely manner. They were wondering why only a few applicants have been sent up. I gave them insight into the OCS and the corporate council, not a ruling, what do you call that? Decision that we can't fill vacancies that were predate the creation of the independent nomination board. Yep. And then further review, they just, there's one person that had some very detailed questions. We're still waiting to hear back from them. He was going to,
Interested in
Yeah.
process and
yeah,
how we were doing any things, and they had a chart.
yeah. He was very detail oriented. And so I think,
Haven't seen anything.
yeah, we haven't gotten written requests from them yet, but we're expecting quite a few questions to respond to. So when we receive that, we'll discuss it. Yeah. Did I kind of get the gist of it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. All right.
Interested in the process. What are you guys, how do you do it? The time, what's involved, and flow. They were happy to hear that there's a software being considered.
Yeah, they're hoping we were being efficient with our time, basically.
Wow.
I think we are.
I think we are too. All right. So moving on to next agenda item. Agenda item number 6, summary update of the November 19th, 2024 Great Committee meeting regarding matters related to the IMB, including vacancies, the board's procedures, duties, and responsibilities. And I will open it for public testimony to see if anyone is interested in giving testimony for this. It doesn't seem like that's the case. So unless someone online wants to testify, nope. All right, I'll close public testimony on agenda item 6. And I'll pass this one over to Corey. I didn't even know we had this meeting.
Yes, they asked about you.
Was I supposed to be there?
They didn't send
They did not send it.
Okay,
requesting your presence.
okay.
So we received notification of this on late Friday, prior to, or at least we were made aware because of it, that they requested that we be present and possibly a presentation, which we did not do. Corporation, first deputy from Corporation Counsel was present, and really this discussion was 2 things. One was about the vacancies and what would occur with that. You were provided with a letter from the Office of Counsel Services from the director, David Rotz, on a solution for the vacancies. which is an ordinance that would be written in collaboration with the Corporation Council. This would occur in 2025 when the new term begins. Or they could be drafting it, but no action will be taken until 2025 on this. And the ordinance, there's a section in the charter that's silent that they saw like a puka to be able to do this without having to send a special election, which could put the vacancies all back on the table for consideration in 2025. So that was a really good outcome, and all of the council members supported it. And the second part they asked was about the mass nominations and how was that going. I explained that you had a process by everybody was taking their own portion to do this. They wanted to know what kind of support I had at this time. I conveyed that. So they are concerned that the quantity of work that one individual has for this was not sufficient. So, whatever they decide, they can decide in next term if they want to amend a budget or anything. So they were interested in the process. They were happy to hear that you guys were moving along and that mass nominations and recruitment was in progress. So that was really, it was a good meeting.
Yeah, that sounds positive.
It was a good meeting, and
Right,
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Foster?
and I'm sorry, Chair, we did not know that you were required to be there until they kept saying, where's Chair?
All right. Well,
So we did not know that was needed,
okay.
but that's a summary.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Good summary. All right. Moving on to section or agenda item number 7, communication. Correspondence, 2024-11-15, INB response to Chair Lee's testimony for 2024-9-25. Do we want to just go through these one by one, Corey, or do you?
I think this is just a notification that you have received it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Because these, okay, yeah.
And this is, again, the 1118 is the correspondence to the Great Committee, which I just spoke to from the Office of Council Services regarding vacancies. That was Director Rotz's letter to them that day that we discussed on the 19th. The 24-10-17 was a response from Deputy Murakami regarding the IMB to the Great with the Office of Information Practices. And that's what we've got thus far.
Got it. Okay.
And no other correspondence.
Oh, and on November 15th,
Pardon
the
me?
response to Chair Lee's question regarding the vacancies in the.
Oh, I'm sorry, the
discrepancies in
commission.
Yeah, the Subcommittee Advisory Board, there was a mistake, a clerical error in our list that we were working on, who was supposed to be nominating, who was appointing authority for the whatnot, and the expiration date was, I believe, there was a mix up on that. So that's been corrected by Corey. So going forward, that won't be an issue.
Okay. Great.
Also, there was one other piece of documentation received on November 20th from Chair Lee to Director Suhaku that we were copied on, and that was regarding the Commission on Healing Solutions for Homelessness. You were provided that in the last meeting, and they were inquiring about the status of those individuals. I met with the department head and we sorted it out as well. And it had to do with individuals that they didn't have record of, which we had record of and submitted it to them.
Got it. All right.
Okay.
And then 7B, their written testimony, there's none.
No.
All right, great. Moving on. Agenda item 8, next meeting. So what's listed on here is wrong. It's December 11th.
Yeah, yeah, because this was a recess.
Yep.
meeting. So the next meeting is December 11th at my notes. I think it's 4 o'clock in the department 4:30 in the DPS conference room, and that is on the 6th floor.
What does DPS stand for?
Department of
Personnel
Services.
No,
Yeah,
more
And if you
technology to
should
figure
choose,
out.
you can report.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to hear you if you're in person at that location.
It
That's
was
the only-
hard here.
There's no microphone that's like this. It's just your laptop, her laptop that's in the front of the meeting room, so.
Are you saying remote would be a better option for that one?
For the members to attend, to be able to hear each other, remote is the best way probably.
Okay,
And then have the meeting available for Corey to be there. It's a little bit easier for Corey to hear Corey because she's a little bit closer where she's set up, and she can, I think, also do it on her other laptop that's in front of her.
Yeah.
With her microphone,
Yeah.
but yeah, for the members to be there physically, it's gonna be hard to, for the rest of the people if online to hear, so.
Yeah, online's easier. And then Chair, we didn't have on the calendar, but we had the possibility of a 12-18, but it could be conducted remotely, and that was with any stragglers, basically, are, continuing or anything that may have come in that you want to but to consider
Yep.
before you send anything to the appointing authorities.
sounds good.
And that would be remote.
Okay.
I
And-
don't have a location.
And then December 25th, we'll have.
Might as well, might as
Yeah.
well.
Come on.
I make the same joke every meeting. All right. Okay, so yeah, the next meeting, December 11, 4 PM, Department of Personal Services on 6th floor. Do we need to vote for, or do we need to discuss agenda items for next meeting, or do we have them pretty well dialed?
Yukari. So some items that was the authorization of Member Viela to travel to Lanai and Molokai for recruitment. And maybe we should make it open so that in case he can't go, we have a backup person. So maybe it's a generic, very broad that Viela and if unavailable, anyway. Admin rules. I'm not sure. Are you going to give us an update?
Are we able to postpone that till after?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. We can have it on the calendar or we can have it
2025.
2025,
Yeah,
maybe.
The other thing to be thinking about is board goals for 2025. Do we want to set like one member to travel to rural areas, Molokai, Lanai, East Maui, and together with the board in the residency area to do some recruitment efforts is a thought. To look at different outreach events and see if board can determine which ones could generate more applications. I remember Lahano's idea of having a table at a senior fair, which typically happens in October or so.
And the disabilities fair that just happened. Would have been perfect.
And I don't know if this is a 2025, but streamlining application review and interview process. How did this particular methodology work for everyone with the assignment system? Anything to add or change to make it more efficient?
So I think that's more for 2025.
Yeah.
So not so much the next meetings, but
yeah,
we're considering mass nomination, but to make it, to make things a little more smoother going forward for next year's mass nominations. And this is where maybe admin rules might come in play, where you might be able to set like a rule, like a procedure in that to follow. That's on hard paper instead of doing it on motion every time at a meeting, so.
yeah. That went pretty well.
Next
Okay.
item is the county auditor position.
So Corey, you're reading this out loud, but this all for like supposed to be on the agenda for the next meeting, so I don't think we need to really discuss them.
I'm just reading what you wrote.
No, that's for the meeting on the 11th.
Isn't
Add on the agenda. Yeah, but I mean, you don't have, I don't really think you need to have to read it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
But that one is like moot. We have nothing to do with it anymore. The
Oh.
county auditor.
Because we missed the date for it.
No. you didn't
no,
say anything.
because well, I can discuss at the 11th.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
bring it up on that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then as long as we make sure that we do have the one more final review for any additional applications that come in.
Yes.
Right, so yeah, the agenda will be posted tomorrow for the 11th meeting, correct?
The real crux of the meeting will be interviews, hopefully, right? So we have several
Yeah.
applicants that we are hoping to book next week. So that I think is gonna occupy a lot of our time.
Correct, so that would be
So,
conversation, the others
yeah.
would be.
All right, and we can have that
14.
agenda before tomorrow.
So we can,
Okay, any other orders of business? Anyone? All right. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then I adjourn this meeting at the Independent Nomination Board at 6:30 PM. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, thanks for all the hard work.